Hey, it's Scott from Mac Chain. Identifying welded steel mill or drag chain is not always an easy process. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to measure the chain that's running in your conveyor, right after this. Identifying welded steel mill chain or drag chain can be challenging, and that is because manufacturers in North America don't always put the stamp on the sidebar. And there's a reason for that, which I'll tell you about later in the video. To identify the welded steel chain running in your conveyor, you're going to have to measure the components and compare that with the product sheet in our catalog. I'll leave a link to our mill chain spec sheet in the description below. So welded steel chain consists of three components. You have your sidebars, you have your chain barrel, and you have your chain pin or rivet. Now, to see how welded steel chain is made, you can watch this video right here. Now, the first measurement we're going to make is the pitch of the chain. So we're going to measure center to center on the chain pins. So the first component we're going to measure is the sidebars. Now, there are two types of sidebars in a link. There's a sidebar with two round holes, and there's a sidebar with a round hole and a square hole. Now, the square hole is for the rivet broach. The end of the rivet will go in to the square hole and lock in place. So we're going to measure our sidebar. First, we measure the thickness of the material, followed by the height of the sidebar. Next, we're going to measure the narrow end of the link, and we're going to measure the overall width at the wide end of the link, rivet head to rivet head. Next, we can take a pair of calipers and measure the OD of the barrel. So we're going to measure the rivet. We're going to measure the diameter of the rivet. So now, why are the sidebars not stamped with the exact chain number? Reason being, the sidebars are used in different chain configurations. So the WR series chain, the sidebars and the barrels are not heat treated. The only component on the chain that's heat treated is the rivet. Now, the rivet can be either through hardened or induction hardened. It can also be through and induction hardened. So for mill chain, up to 3/4 of an inch, the rivets are through hardened. 1 inch and above, the rivets are through hardened and induction hardened. So you can see on the chain chart, you have your WR series and your WH series, and then the chain number. But you also have XHD. That is a heavy duty option. There is no HD. For some reason along the line, the industry changed it to read XHD. So comparing our measurements with our chain spec sheet, we've determined that the chain is WR124. It has a 4-inch pitch, it has an 1.5 inch high sidebar, it's 3/8 thick, the rivet diameter is 3/4 of an inch, the overall width is 4¼ inches, and the length at the narrow end of the link is 2 13/16. The barrel OD is 1.25. So that is your WR series chain. You can then upgrade to a WH series fully heat treated chain. So just like the WR series chain, the WH series has hardened pins and hardened sidebars and barrels. The WH series heat treated chain is ideal for maximum service life. It's ideal for high impact side loading and high speed or abrasive conditions. Now, there are different options available to the WR series and the WH series mill chain. You can get it pre-greased, which will help with the break-in process. You can get it double locked for severe applications. For maximum service life, talk to a Mac Chain representative for options that may benefit your specific application. Okay, to identify welded steel drag chain, we're going to go through the same process. First, once again, a drag chain consists of sidebars, your barrel, and your chain pin or your rivet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the pitch of our chain. So we have our drag chain link. Now we're going to measure the thickness of the sidebar, followed by the height of the sidebar. We're then going to measure the narrow end of the link, outside to outside on the sidebars. And we're going to measure the overall width at the wide end of the link, rivet head to rivet head. Now with drag chain, there are options that have two different rivet sizes. So we're going to have to measure the diameter of our rivet. We can then go to our chain chart from our catalog and now identify the chain type. So comparing our measurements to our chain spec sheet, we've determined that the chain is WD-110. WD-110 has a 6-inch pitch. It has an 1.5 inch high sidebar. The sidebar is 3/8 of an inch thick. The rivet diameter is 3/4 of an inch. And the overall so you can see in our drag chain we have different chain types that may have two different rivet sizes. WD-480 has a 7/8 and a 1-inch rivet. WD-118 has a 7/8 and a 1-inch rivet. WD-120 has a 7/8 and a 1-inch rivet. WD series is the standard series for drag chain. The sidebars and the barrels are not hardened. Only the pins are either through hardened or induction hardened. There are plenty of options for your drag chain. You have the extra heavy duty option, just like in mill chain. You have the option to pre-grease. You can double lock the chain. You also have the option to reverse the barrel so you can run the chain wide end forward. There will be a video to show the benefits of wide end forward coming up. And another great option for your drag chain is to go with a super heavy duty barrel for really demanding applications. You have the Super Mac with a 300 thou thick wall, and you have the Mega Mac with a 400 thou thick wall. And once again, for more options to benefit your specific application, talk to a Mac chain representative. So if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. There are some other videos that may be of interest to you, like this one up here, or maybe this one right here. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you in the next video.